What's up, guys? We're back for episode 16 of What Not to Do. I'm Eric Lloyd. I run Oregon Risk Management Solutions. On our channel here, we watch some workplace safety fails, we watch some accidents, we watch some near misses. We're going to talk about what went wrong. We're going to talk about what OSHA might say about it, what we can learn from it, have some laughs along the way. With that, we're going to just jump into our first clip and see what producer Dakota has for us here. When you don't have a jack on hand, is he going to just strongman this thing up? Oh yeah, he is. Holy cow. Put your back into it. Look at those good ergonomics, lifting with his legs, not his back. Oh man. Not only is that dude way tougher than me, he has a significantly more majestic beard. Those are just beard goals right there. Dakota, you're almost there, but that's a beard. I can't even focus on the car lifting. That is impressive. I guess it's a big dude and a small car. What might we do alternatively? I mean, get a jack. Like, he obviously is big enough to do that. It didn't seem to faze him too much, but if we lift enough heavy stuff enough times, eventually it starts to catch up to us. I know some of our audience is in that same stage of life that I am, where all the stupid things that we did when we were kids starts to come back and haunt us now. That kind of makes my back hurt just watching that. There's 3 vehicles in this picture. I'd be willing to bet that one of them might have a jack in it, and we could have taken a little time to find the right tool for the job. Maybe we could get a mechanical advantage in an absolute desperate scenario, try and rig up, some kind of lever mechanism. We have truly no other choice. Maybe we could even team lift a little bit, get some extra help for it. But all in all, that's just really impressive. It's really impressive he didn't rip the bumper or the fender off of that car too. That's not necessarily an approved lifting point on the vehicle, but they pulled it off. But you guys, look at that beard. One of the comments says it would also be better if his name was Jack, and I guess we don't know that it isn't. So, okay, let's go on to our next clip. This is labeled Polish Woodcutting Tool. All right, we got a good standoff distance, and look at that high vis. Everybody can see him when he gets his arm ripped off in this thing. We're getting closer, we're getting closer. As long as he's got his PTO shield in place on there, I see no problem, right? He kept a little bit of a distance there. As with many of the clips that Dakota finds for us, I guess I'll give some points for creativity for sure. We were needing to accomplish a task, and we did not have necessarily the resources to go buy the right tool for it, maybe. And so we improvised and we built something that worked. This could be a lot worse. It's not going at Mach 4. It's not spinning at a crazy fast speed. And the way they're doing it, they are able to maintain a little bit of a standoff. I'd love it if our standoff was maybe a little bit further away. Maybe we could use a tool to hold the end of it if we needed to, the same as you'd push with a block on a table saw when you get down to the end of it. Maybe we could have fewer people around it just to minimize the risk there. But all in all, it could be worse. And we didn't watch him get wrapped up in it. Maybe they need a good trauma kit on site, though, just in case, so that they can respond if they do have an injury. That's a creative one. I like it. Comments say just don't lose track of where the log ends and your arm starts. That's good advice. All right, we've got clip number 3. Let's see what producer Dakota found for us. Bucket standing. Always a classic. He's got his safety shorts on. I wonder if he's wearing Crocs. This feels like a scenario we might be wearing Crocs. What is he doing? Come on, bright orange Crocs. He's just checking things out. Just wanted to see what was up there. Where's all this gravel coming from? He's not even doing anything up there. He's just looking. Yeah, get your face in there real close. See if you can catch some gravel in your eye while you're at it. Give it a little lick. I cannot for the life of me think of a good reason why he needs to be standing up there. Could you get your face any closer? I think he's going to lick it. And in that entire clip, he doesn't do anything actually worthy up there other than just seeing what the gravel smells like. So this is where I come back to the thing that I've probably said a few times here, and I've said a million times anytime I'm doing a forklift certification class, which is that hydraulics hate us and they want to kill us, and they will do so if we give them the chance. There is all sorts of fail videos on YouTube that we could not show here and maintain our PG rating of people that have a real bad experience with trusting hydraulics and like walking underneath them and whatnot when they decide to catastrophically fail. So imagine what happens if the hydraulics on that bucket catastrophically fail while he's leaning over this thing and it drops out from underneath him and he bounces his face off of that gravel he's trying to taste before he drops, 12, 15 feet to the ground. With very few exceptions and only with equipment that is specifically engineered to do it, with some safety mechanisms in place to help us if something goes wrong. We cannot lift people in the air with hydraulics, and we sure can't do that. Obviously, there's some major fall risk here. We have no railings, we have no harness. I think I've said before that the lowest height fatality fall on record with Oregon OSHA is from 42 inches. If he were to take a header out of this thing, even if the hydraulics don't give out, he just slips and falls and lands on his head or lands on his back or lands on his legs. There's really no good spot to land where you're not going to have serious injury or risk of death from that height. So all around, if there legitimately was some reason we needed to be doing that, maybe we can climb up a ladder, maybe we can get a man lift that is built for that with some railings attached to it, or a basket we could throw on some forklift forks, but standing in the bucket of the loader would not be ideal. And then I just, again, cannot fathom why we'd need to get that close to a bunch of gravel spewing out at us. Doesn't even have his safety glasses on. Okay, and then we've got one more clip for episode 16. It's called The Forklift Spin Cycle. What could go wrong here? Have I ever mentioned that I hate stand-up forklifts? Oh my gosh. Got some centrifugal force at work here. As much as anything, I'm just waiting for him to get off center a little bit and schwack him against the beam over there. What was that show where, like, the robots, was it BattleBots? Where they would, build robots that would fight each other? I feel like you could totally have two guys hooked up on straps on these and have, hanging from a forklift gladiator battle somehow. Well, as always, very frequently, points for creativity, I suppose. Maybe this is another, the foreman is out for the day. What could go wrong? The reason I hate those stand-up forklifts is because they're just tippy as could be anyway. They have a very high risk of tipping compared to traditional forklifts. And so we get that centrifugal force of the weight spinning around in circles there. And definitely put the machine at risk of tipping over. The operator in there is just standing up. He's not seat belted in. He doesn't have much to hold on to. I could tell you for days about fatality incidents involving tipped over stand-up forklifts. And that's got a real potential to injure the operator, as well as obviously if it does tip over, it's got the risk of falling on the dude who's tied in on that. What else? We could, as I said, whack them up against something in the vicinity there. We're definitely compromising the structural integrity of our fall protection equipment. So when we need to use that for real, it's not necessarily going to be good to go. All around, I would vote for not doing that. I think maybe that is the real learning lesson here. If you are a supervisor, if you are a foreman and you have a night crew, you should go check on them at about 2 o'clock in the morning and just see what's going on. Maybe you too can get a forklift ride. Okay, that's going to be it for episode 16 of What Not to Do. We hope you guys are enjoying this. We love getting the positive comments and feedback and messages about something funny you saw or something that you learned. If you see a clip you want us to throw in here, send it our way. Make sure you like and follow our channel on here so you can get notified when there's new episodes. Share it with your friends if you're enjoying this. Make sure you check out our website, OregonRMS.com, where you can see our fire extinguishers, our trauma kits, a list of all the services and materials that we offer. Let's call that a day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next episode.